Hello and welcome to your viewer's choice. Today we are doing some Pilates as requested by the lovely Kathy, and we are going to incorporate some sliders into it today. So if you do not have any sliders, which are those little disky things, maybe some tea towels if you're on a wooden or a soft hard floor, I should say, maybe just paper plates or your socks. If you're on a carpeted floor, you'll probably slide quite a bit if you take your foot off the mat anyway. But come and start on your hands and knees just so we can stretch our back out a little bit further. So hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. Stick your bottom out, lift your chest. And then lift the belly up towards the spine. Take your eyes towards the belly. Exhale, stick the bottom out, lift the chest. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, stretch it up. Inhale, lift it up. Two more here. Exhale. And inhale. Last one here. And inhale. Now take a flat back position here. Just turn your head to look at the left hip. A little more stretch through the side of the body. Turn the head to look at the right hip. Two more each side. Get that back moving. The sides of the body moving. Last one each side. And then untuck the toes. Press yourself back. Reach from your fingertips. Really reach the top. Half the body back as far as you can. Try and get the heels to sink a little lower to the ground. And then bend the knees. Start to warm the legs up a little bit here. You will need them nice and warm shortly. Then we do a little bit of our squatting with the lovely slider. Two more each side here. Now place the heels down as far as you can. Walk the hands a little bit further forward. And then come forward into a plank position. Circle from the shoulders 5 times in one direction and then 5 times in the other direction. And then press yourself straight back into that downward dog position. So press back. And then moving forward again. 5 circles one way. Just to warm everything up. 5 circles the other way. And press those hips back. Last one here, really stretch out of it when you're back there. 5 circles one way. And then 5 the other way. And then press all the way back. Walk your hands back a little. Take your right hand and reach towards your left, either ankle or calf. And then try and stretch the top half of your body through that gap. And then swap over. Other hand goes down. Other hand on the leg. Stretch and reach the chest around. And release the hands. Walk the hands all the way up. Hang here, get a nice stretch through the hamstrings. 2 more breaths, let the body be heavy, pulling you down towards the ground. 1 more breath here. And then rise up. So, what we're going to do first is take your little, you only need 1 for the moment, but place one of your sliders next to the side of your mat. Just have it there for when we are ready. First thing you're going to do here, just to warm the legs up first. Take your feet slightly wider than hip width distance apart. Think about your toes touching and your heels touching and try and lift up the arch of your feet a little bit. Now sit back in your squat and then raise back up. So really trying to sit your bottom back as far as you can and then raise back up. Bottom down, and then raise back up. 4 more here. Really sticking it out behind you. 3 more. 2 more. Last one, you're going to hold this one here. And then pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, raise yourself up now from here. We are going to do a little bit of practice on one leg at a time here. So I'm keeping my right leg on the mat for now, just for comfort. Doesn't necessarily have to be there. I'm going to rise up onto the toes of my left foot. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to squat back. And then I'm going to reach the foot behind me and lunge back. I'm going to squat forward. And then I'm going to reach back and lunge. Squat forward. And then reach back and lunge. So you're always up on the toes of that left foot. So squatting down and then lunging down. So feel the right leg here. 2 more. And last one. Now take that left foot to the slider. Sit back in your little squat. Now hold the right leg there. Slide the left leg and then bring it back in. Slide it out and then bring it back in. Slide it out. Stay in your squat. 3 more here. Slide and in. 2 more here. And in. Last one. Now before you lift yourself up, slide it out to the side and back in. Out and in. That's adjustment. Out and in. 3 more here. Out and in. 2 more. Last one. And relax. Shake that right leg out. Woo! So, same thing on the other side. So, for the purpose of being able to do this in the space of my memory, I'm actually going to face the other way. So, I'm going to keep the slider away from me to start with. We've done our squats and our pulses on both legs already, but what we do still need to do is the left foot's planted, the right heel is lifted, squatting, and then stepping back for your lunge. So squatting, and then stepping back for your lunge. Squat, and then step. 4 more here. 3 more here. 2 more here. Last one. And then keep the right foot on the slider this time. Sit back in your squat. Squatting the left leg, sliding the right back in and out. So trying to keep that lovely squat position. 3 more here. 2 more here. Last one. Before you go anywhere, it's going out to the side. I know your legs burning. And out. And out. 3 more here. 2 more here. Last one here. And whoa. Shake those lovely little legs out. Let's give up on the legs for now. So, find yourself on your knees. Now, from here, I'm going to guess that I can put a slider either side of me here. I won't necessarily use both hands on it at the same time, so it won't really matter too much if I just do it all on one side first. So I'm going to start with my right hand because I'm in this position here. So maybe if you're just doing it on the one side, kneel a little closer to the right hand side of your mat. So walk your hands out a little further until you can do your little push up here. Now, when you push up, then put the hand on the slider, take it out to the side, bring it back up, forward, and bring it back to the center. Normal push up. So your other ones don't have to be very low. It's almost the feeling of just slightly sending it away from the body. Hand back down, normal. Right hand slightly slides away, and then slightly slides further. Normal push-up. 2 more here. So the chest lowers during a normal push-up, lowers a little to the side, and a little to the front. But the main lower comes when both hands are stable. Last one. And push up. Last time. Very good. Now, same thing with the other hand. So I will face the other way just because I can't press it away from the side here. So, remembering, on your knees, walk your hands a little further forward so you're in a bit of a push-up position here. Bring the left slider in line with you. Push up here. And then take the left hand slightly up, slightly forward, and then back. Normal push-up. Slider slightly up, slightly forward. Both hands, correct. Slider slightly up, slightly forward. 2 more. Correct. Slightly up, slightly forward. We've still got arms. 1 more. Slightly up, slightly forward. Last full push-up. And rest your bottom on your heels. Stretch your hands out. Be grateful your arms are done. And then bring yourself to lay on your back here. Now, the easiest way to do this is to probably fold your mat in half or to lay it sideways. You want to have enough room for your feet to be able to be on the slider. Yes? So, place your heels on the slider. I've got my toes just off the edge on the ground, but my heels actually on the slider. Hands down by your side. Now exhale, curl the spine. Take a breath. And then curl back down. So just normal pelvic curls to start with there. Inhale, take a breath at the bottom. Exhale, curl. Press up, take a breath. Curl all the way back down. Exhale, curling up. Take a breath. Curling back down. Just 2 more here. Think of this as your active rest. Exhale, rolling up. Take a breath. Rolling back down. Very last one here. Rolling up. Now staying here. Very slowly slide the right leg out and then bring it back in. Keep your hips up. Slowly slide the left one out and bring it back in. Slide the right out. Feel that hamstring lengthening and the other glute really switching on to keep you stable. 2 more each side. Hips are still high. Last one each side. And then roll all the way down. Now from here, take your hands behind your head, keep your feet on the slider. So up to you here if you want to leave your heels on or put your toes on. Everyone will be a little bit different. So, there's a few different ways to do this. Ideally, chest lift up, send the legs up, bring them back in, come back down. If you struggle with the chest lift, just raise halfway, hold on to the backs of the legs even, and then slide the legs in and out. So whichever works for you. Maybe you're just chest lifting to here, sliding the legs up and coming back in. Maybe you're chest lifting all the way up, sliding the legs up, bring them in, whatever works. 4 more here. 3 more here. 2 more here. Last one here. And then just keep your feet resting, your back on the mat here. Now, take a breath. Exhale, lift the arms up. No need to move the feet this time. You are just going to reach towards your left ankle with your left hand, and then reach towards your right ankle with your right hand. If you want to make it a little harder, you can slide the feet a little bit further out. If you want to make it a little bit easier, you can slide the feet a little further in. So reach, and to the other side. And reach, and to the other side. 3 more each side here. To the other side. 2 more each side here. Last one each side here. And then rest, taking your hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers, thumbs either side of your neck. So from here, doing our oblique exercises, except this time, when you come up from underarm to opposite hip, send that leg long, bring it back in. Stay to the same side, send it long, bring it back in. And lift, send it long, bring it back in. Send it long, bring it back in. 3 more here. 2 more here. Last one here. And you guessed it, same thing on the other side. So lift, send the leg long, slide it back in. So it might help if your heels are on, it probably makes it a little bit more controlled. Press, lift the chest, underarm to opposite hip, slide the leg out, bring it back in. 2 more here. Last one here. And relax. Hug the knees into the chest. Take a little bit of pressure off those abdominals. Circle the legs around, a little pressure off the hip flexors as well if we did grab them quite considerably to bring the legs in. Circle the other way. And then a little bit extra work on our abdominals because I haven't given you enough work on your abs already. So place your toes on the sliders. Up to you how much of your mat you use. I'm probably just going to use it for my hands, so I'm just going to fold it up a little bit more so I can have a little bit more room for my legs to move here. So what you're going to do here is press out into a plank and then tuck the knees in. Press out into a plank and then tuck the knees in. So try and keep shoulders back. Nice line here, just think of dragging the knees in as opposed to lifting the bottom any higher. 3 more here. 2 more here. Last one here. And relax the knees back down very briefly. Feel free to put them on the mat if they feel a little bit sore here. So, another plank position here, this time taking the legs slightly out to the side. So they don't have to be too far, but see how you go. So lift. Now slide one way, bring it back. Slide the other, bring it back. I'm going to kick my wall here. Slide the other, and then bring it back. 3 more each side. 2 more each side. Power our abs. Last one each side. And then rest on your knees. You've got one last hard one in this position. Feel free to rest on your elbows at any time if you need to as well. The only thing about that is that you will have to use your abs a lot more to bring the knees in. So the hands are a bit easier, but I understand that they start to hurt a little bit after all. So, a little bit of obliques here. Legs out. Knee comes up to the opposite underarm. And then back. Opposite underarm. And then back. Opposite underarm. And then back. 2 more each side, and I promise you're done. Last one each side. And relax. Feel free to drop your bottom all the way down to your heels. Walk the fingers out even further. Take 2 big breaths here. One more big breath here. And then feel free to roll your mat back out. You probably need the whole length of your mat this time. So, hands and knees. Bring a slider to your right hand. Take your left leg long. So shoulders directly underneath. So hands directly underneath shoulders, sorry. And then knee directly underneath your hips. So flex the foot. You're going to just slide the leg, press the leg up, slide the arm away from you. So it's just a slight little movement. What we're trying to do here is maintain stability. So making sure you're not pressing the leg all the way up and leaning into the body. It is just sliding the hand away slightly, but keeping the spine exactly where it is. Two more here. Last one here. And then same thing, take the leg out to the side, take the arm out to the side, and then bring it back. So this is how we would normally do these, but with our arm long. It's a similar thing, except you're just sliding the hand along the ground. So the back leg's still doing the same thing. Just sliding the hand. Two more here. Last one here. And relax. Take a few cat-cows here before we change to the other side. So really stretching out that spine. Stretching out that chest as we're starting to kill our abs here. Spine lifted, arms lifted. Press the bottom up. Lift up. Last one. And then same thing with the other side. So for me, I'm going to turn around just because otherwise I'll hit my wall. So this time, right leg and left hand, flexing the heel. So as I pulse, I'm just going to take the hand a little further away from you. So it's all about trying to maintain that balance through the back, staying nice and still, without lifting the leg too high or dropping through the chest to take that arm longer. Two more here. How's that balance, everybody? Last one here. Now take the leg out to the side, take a hand further away from you. Over to the side with the hand, leg further away. Yes, very good. Four more here. Three more here. Two more here. Last one. And relax back, sit the bottom on the heels, reach the arms out long, let the chest relax into the mat. Take 3 deep breaths here. Filling air all the way through those abdominals. And I've worked pretty hard today. One more. And then find yourself sitting at the top of your mat. So, arms out long here. Now we won't, the slider you can use if you want to keep this a little bit more basic, or you can do it with your feet lifted. So I'll show you what it does look like if you want to hit your feet on the ground. So it will be a process of just sliding the leg out and then bringing it back in. Otherwise, we're going to lift from here. So whichever works better for you. If you want to keep the slider to do that, you can. Otherwise, arms are long, shoulders are back and down. Sit, tuck your tailbone slightly, and then lift your feet. See if you can hold this first. Take your arms up, and then lower them back down. Take your arms up, and then lower them back down. Trying to keep the spine nice and tall. Arms up, lowering back down. Two more here. Arms up. How are your hip flexors? Lowering back down. Last one. And lowering back down. So tap your feet down if you need to. Now, if your hip flexors are already starting to pull quite a lot, maybe you do want the slider to slide the foot out for the next one. Otherwise, arms are long, and then just straighten one leg and bring it back in. Straighten the other leg, and then bring it back in. So you can also do it with the foot on the slider, however you would like. 2 more each side. Last one each side. And hug those knees in, roll onto your back. Really stretch your hip flexors out here. Roll them one way. Roll them the other way. And then place both of your feet on the ground. Arms a little bit wider. Take your left foot to the ceiling, point your toe. Keep your right leg grounded. And then try and open your left leg out to the side as much as you can to really start to open out that hip flexor. So I know our hips are probably a little bit sore from some of the exercises. And then exhale, use your abdominals to bring that leg back in. Inhale, take a breath and start to drop it out to the side. Open it up, and then exhale, bring it back in. 2 more here. Inhale, take a breath. Slowly try and drop it out to the side. Keep this leg stable where it is. Try not to open it any further. Bring it back in. Last one. And then bring it back in. Same thing on the other side. So if you're like me and you're on the wall, you might need to turn around. This is the most amount of moving I've ever done in class. So drop the leg out to the side to open that hip up. And then bring it back to the center. Exhale, let it drop out. Inhale, bring it back in. 3 more here, out to the side. And back in, 2 more here. Try and keep the stabilizing leg exactly where it is. So try not to move the knee that's bent. Last one here. And bring it back to the center. So 1 here just to get the spine moving. You won't need any sliders for this. Get the spine moving and the abs moving all in one little succession. So what you're going to do here, take your legs on, slightly lower them, and then use this momentum, exhale, lift them up over your hip. So if you can tap your toes to the ground, great. If not, just keep them high. Separate the legs here. Point the toes back towards you. And again, if you can touch them down, even better. Now very slowly start to roll back down through the spine. 1 vertebrae at a time. And then take the legs down, circle. And then use the momentum to press yourself back over. Toes back down towards the ground. And then very slowly, lowering. Circle the legs. Kick them up and over. Toes down towards the ground. Very slowly roll down through the spine. Circle the legs, bring them up and over. So 2 more here. And rolling back down. Last one here. And rolling back down. And then very slowly, up to you. You can have your hands underneath your spine if you like, or your hands out to the side to make it a little bit harder. I'm going to go the hands under the spine today. I think my abs are already too tight. And very slowly lower the legs. And then exhale, draw them all the way back up. Inhale, slowly lower the legs. And then exhale, bring them all the way up. Slowly lower the legs. And then exhale, bring them all the way up. Now this is your last one. You're going to keep them down wherever you get to. And then you're going to open and close 10 times. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring them a third of the way up. Same thing again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring them all the way up. 10, 9, 8. These are a bit easier. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then hug them in. Circle them around one way. And then circle them around the other way. And then rock yourself up to your hands and knees, just stretching out a little bit here before we finish. So I obviously gave you a little bit of stress on your abs and your hip flexors here. So bend into your front leg. I've got my right in front, doesn't really matter too much. Now try and think about dropping this hip towards the ground. Now, if you can, bring the hands on the inside of the leg. Try and drop the elbows towards the ground, only if you can. Even that slight feeling of just falling a little further forward will also help. 2 more breaths here. And then take one hand to each side and then stretch the toes back. Get a stretch through the leg. Lifting your chest to stretch the back as well. And then bend into that front knee a little just so you can change it over. Step the other leg forward. So I've got my left leg forward this time, but whichever one you didn't do, you can do now. Drop the hips in. Feel a nice stretch in your hips there. And then if you can, 2 hands on the inside, getting a little lower to the ground, even if it's a tiny bit. Let that hip drop in. And then 1 hand each side. Stretch the toes back towards you. And then bend the front knee and then bend both knees to be beside you. Untuck your toes, place your hands on the ground. Now, stretching the spine here. I'm just going to jump a little further forward so you can see what I'm doing. What I'm going to try and do here is keep my hands flat on the ground, but lift my hips up and straighten my legs. So I'm going to lift my hips, try and put my feet to the floor, and try and straighten my hamstrings as much as I can. So if the legs aren't completely straight, that's fine, but really try and keep the palms and the hands all the way down. And then start to bend the knees. Same thing in the opposite direction here. Try and sit the bottom as far back as you can without lifting the hands or moving the feet. And then press back up. It's a little bit harder, I find, to sit down than it is to stretch out. So sit the bottom back. Try and sit without moving the hands or the feet. That's the challenging part. And then press the bottom back up. 2 more minutes. And then press back up. Last one here. And then press back up. Release the hands, hold on to opposite elbows and let the body hang heavy here. Maybe your legs are a little bit more flexible than they were before. Roll your shoulders, let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Roll them the other way as well. And then shake your head for no. Nod your head for yes. And then when you are ready, take a nice deep breath. And slowly start to peel yourself all the way up. Rolling the shoulders back. And then rolling the shoulders forward. Hope you enjoyed our lovely little
express slider class slash, oh, you can see my music in the background now, slash some stretching at the end. Enjoy the rest of your evening.